What's poppin'? What's crack-a-lackin'? What's really good? Thank you for listening to The Rope Break, your source for news, opinions, and anything else that revolves around the world of professional wrestling. I am the Samoan scintillator of all your senses, JoeMaga. I am here with the Blaster, Shockmaster Grizz, the excellence of Exhale, Brett the Hitman. Gentlemen, how are we today?
Chip. What's up, everybody? How are we doing today?
Brett.
We've got a revamped show for you, so with that, I will kick it right over to Shockmaster Grizz with a new section called The Gauntlet.
Yeah, so it's been a while. How you guys doing? So with the Gauntlet, what we're going to do is just kind of like fire topics at you. It's kind of like a gauntlet match, one after the other, and we're just going to burn through them and get you guys the knowledge and opinions that you need for your day-to-day life. Because you need our opinions in your life.
Crack a beer for the working man. As
Kabang!
As Stone Cold would say it.
So, first off, I'm just setting up the fuck, man. Sorry. I'm setting up the stopwatch right now. All right. So here we go.
So we've got 1 minute to answer we've got 1 minute to explore 5 different topics. It's sort of going to work as a warm-up for both you, the audience, and for us to keep our mind sharp and to get our vernaculars up to speed where they need to be at this current moment in time and space right now.
Say daddy.
Daddy.
All right. So, first, use one word to describe the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view.
Thumbs in the middle.
Wow.
As a pay-per-view whole. As a whole
Okay.
pay-per-view. Thumbs in the middle.
Okay.
I'm going to go with predictable because I went 6-1 in picks, so I'm going to go predictable.
Sure.
Oh, look at that, throwing shade. Throwing shade right off the top.
Right off the bat. There we go.
I think my word was victorious.
Sure.
And not just because I'm an internet mark who thinks Naomi is super athletically gifted and thinks that Bray Wyatt is a really good, worthy champion, but also that I just think you advanced a lot of good stories. I thought the fact that 3 women's matches on a pay-per-view bill was phenomenal because the women are outperforming the men now. And the chamber was great. The match was good.
Sure. I gave it a thumbs in the middle a little bit more because of the fact that the match was incredible, but the rest of the matches were a little subpar.
Final thought.
I agree with exactly what Joe said.
Okay. The next topic would be the "You Deserve It" chants, which falls right in line with what we were talking about. Both Naomi and Bray Wyatt got overwhelming chants from the audience saying, "You deserve it," right? So who determines whether they deserve it in a sport that is governed by predetermined outcomes?
Well, the marks kind of have never really been consistent with who they kind of gravitate to and why they do some of these chants. The chants especially, a lot of it is self-serving, right? So they want to make kind of hijack the crowd. And not hijack is used way too loosely with these wrestling chants and stuff like that. But they want to be heard. They want to feel good. They want to be part of the show. So that's 90% of it, right? But for someone like Bray Wyatt is much different than someone like Naomi. I almost felt like when on Tuesday when Naomi got there and they started giving the "You Deserve It" chants, it was almost as if it was a little tongue-in-cheek. It felt like the crowd was sort of in on the joke there, if you will. And I don't know. I don't know how I feel about those chants. Some people do deserve it.
Where were they? They were in Philly, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Philly's a vocal audience. It's always going to make their opinion known.
And not always necessarily for the better of the product.
Agreed.
They both definitely deserve a title, that's for sure. But the question is like you guys say, is at what time do we do these chants for these people? Like, who is deciding this?
Is it appropriate?
It was appropriate for Daniel Bryan.
Where the location of the crowd is. Yeah, that's what I would say too.
So the next topic would be, does the Lionheart, Chris Jericho, does he show up before Fastlane after his brutal beating at the hands of best friend Kevin Owens, who he is not fighting at Fastlane? And why is he not handing over that U.S. title?
I will remain hopeful in that he does not show up. And the reason that I think he shouldn't show up is because he got destroyed. He got stretchered out. He got really, really hurt, and I'm sure his feelings are hurt because his best friend smashed him into a television. But I feel like,
excuse me, a Geratron. Sorry.
if he were to show up at all on television before this Fastlane pay-per-view, it'll really hurt the Goldberg storyline and sort of bring back everything that Kevin Owens accomplished in that incredible opening promo on Monday night.
That was stellar. And
by him not acknowledging Chris Jericho at all, sort of even makes it more compelling as to where he's going to go with it, what's going to be the outcome, and how Chris Jericho feels about it, and how he'll interject himself into the Goldberg match.
I agree. I don't think he's showing up before Fastlane at all. It's going to happen for the build-up to WrestleMania.
I would stand to agree, and I would also stand to agree that that promo was sick. And that's what they brought Owens in for. I have to wrap this topic, but that's what they brought Owens in for, because Punk is gone. You need that guy on the mic who's going to kind of stand up. The next topic, you've got so John Cena and Nikki Bella have a very well-documented relationship.
Oh, not in the current product. Or well-documented outside of the actual universe of the WWE.
Because Total Divas is a huge, huge thing that, has brought many, many non-wrestling fans into the WWE universe. That said, now that The Miz, now that Natalya, now that people have acknowledged this relationship on air for WWE in a kayfabe setting, correct? Even though kayfabe is tongue-in-cheek at this point. Does John Cena ask Nikki Bella to marry him at WrestleMania after they fight The Miz and Maurice, who are married?
Does Cena pop the question?
Does Cena pop the question?
Yes, I think that this entire program is building up toward that moment. It gives John Cena it'll put John Cena over the top with his personality and his it'll give him that one moment that he doesn't have. He's got all the other moments involved in wrestling. This is for sort of emotional side, and I think they're saving all that stuff that they haven't done with Nikki and John yet for that particular moment, given the WrestleMania thing. Also, it'll be shown on Total Divas. It'll show how important WrestleMania is to the Total Divas crowd. So yes, John Cena pops the question to Nikki at WrestleMania.
I can't see it happening. I think he's going to do it in a more romantic way. I got faith in you, John, all right?
I think he paid for those boobs and that butt. So, but in real life, I just what an
investment that is.
I cite Randy Savage and Elizabeth, because there's a lot of fake weddings in wrestling. There's Daniel Bryan and AJ Lee was the most recent example, probably.
Edge and Vicky.
Happens constantly because the product is driven by extreme situations.
There was a TNA one like 2 weeks ago.
Sure. Happens, wrestling is driven by extreme situations, and that is a very extreme situation. Randy Savage and Elizabeth was real, right? Obviously, we've all been over this in the news feeds. I think that you made a really good point about how it's the moment that Cena doesn't have, and Cena's entire life is WWE, so if his life is going to take place on a WWE camera, he pops the question.
This is the perfect scenario if he's going to do it, for sure.
So this fifth topic here, the Big Show and Shaq has been rumored for WrestleMania for a few years, and I'm actually a huge proponent of it. I love the Shaq. I think he's a great personality in the media, and I think he fits well in a WWE environment. Big Show said this about Shaq recently, if you guys haven't heard. Here's the thing. We shot this off at the ESPY Awards. Shaq said he's in. I thought this would be a good match for fans to see two giants go at it, and I see Shaq riding around, singing karaoke, and stopping at Krispy Kreme. I'm like, hey, if you're not going to take it serious, find something else to do. I've given 22 years of my blood, sweat, and tears to this business, and I'm doing this favor to Shaq, right? Multi-time NBA champion. Like, you're not doing him a favor. He would be doing WWE a favor by showing up, right? Big Show goes on to say, this could be my last WrestleMania. He needs to step up. I'm not trying to be mean, but my time's valuable. I don't have foot powder commercials, car commercials, insurance commercials. I get it. He's a busy man, but if he's going to step in the ring in my business at our biggest event of the year, show me you're serious.
I don't like it. 10 years ago, I would have loved it. I don't think the star power of Shaq is needed on this particular WrestleMania, and I think that the way wrestling is right now, it's not going to benefit anyone at all.
Listen, Shaq is a retired athlete, just like the Big Show should be. whether it's his last WrestleMania or not. You know what I mean? He's
Bang.
He's had his time. He was great, and we respect him for that. But let's give the new guys a shot at what's going on at WrestleMania. You know,
I would have to say that if you've seen any of the Twitter pictures, if you know what the Big Show has done recently to his body, to himself, he's in the best shape of his career. So I think even if that's only for one last bang, he deserves it. And I think Shaq doesn't owe it to wrestling at all. He doesn't have to do it all, but why don't you put Big Show in there with somebody who he can go with and have a great last match with? You know what I mean?
Being in the shape that Big Show is in right now, and after seeing that match with Strowman this week, you're right.
Yeah, that was perfect.
I need to be able to see the time.
Okay,
we got to figure that out.
That's what I was saying before.
Yeah,
like when someone else is doing it, it's like so hard to figure.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
At it, you're like,
I was trying to.
No, and you did a good job at that. But we'll also, but then, like, there's inevitably going to be the moment where we're all three of us have talked at 30 seconds, and then it's going to be a lot of hand gestures and us trying to. We got to figure out. We'll figure out a way to see a timer.
If you guys could be in here though to see all of this, if this is going in, it was fun because I'm like pointing and gesturing and sharply and that was we appreciate you. And we're glad you're listening, and we're a lot of fun, and you're a lot of fun. So thanks, and we're just going to make a crisper show. It's going to be good.
And with that, we just want to take a second to plug some of the few things that we've got going on in our lives. I am JoeMaga, a.k.a. Joey Edge, Joey Valens. You can listen to me on Kicks 105.5 FM every Saturday between 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. And please follow Kicks 105.5 on Facebook.
Yeah.
At Joey Etch on Twitter.
And then are we talking about DJing ventures as well?
I don't really have too many going
You're
on
not doing
right
the
now.
hockey games?
If you want to come see the Danbury Titans at the Danbury Ice Arena, you can catch me spinning some tunes in the booth. Come say hi, have a beer with me.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, man. Brett, you're playing basketball, or are you done with basketball?
8-4, season's over, playoffs start. We haven't got a date yet. Coming up soon.
Yeah. Do you guys have people come and watch though?
Yeah, people can come watch all the time. It's at the Danbury War Memorial, so people always go down there to watch the games all the
time.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying, man. When
that is a Poke Gym too, by the way. If you play Pokemon Go, you can head down to the Danbury War Memorial.
It's a Poke Gym.
Yeah.
Bang. I've got a show coming up. I haven't talked about it on Facebook. I mean, it's still in its infancy, but like I'm gonna be singing. If you like Iced Earth, if you're a wrestling fan, you're probably a metal fan. If you're a metal fan, you might know who Iced Earth is. We're gonna do the album The Dark Saga cover to cover. I wanted to do it as a Valentine's Day thing because Dark Saga is about Spawn. Spawn is about. It's a really tortured love story from comic books from a million years ago, and a shitty movie with John Leguizamo.
Oh, that was the worst.
Oh god, it was terrible.
It looked good though. Like the visuals were good, but that was it.
So, we're gonna do the Dark Saga and a few really good classics. That's down the road. I don't have a date for that. Go to alternativecontrolct.com if you want to see me talk about local music. And actually, I'm going to put up an article really, really soon about the Wrecking Ball Legursky, local wrestler who is recently had a WWE Performance Center tryout.
What are your handles? Where can they find you?
Well, that's my name is Ryan Bair, Bair. You cannot look me up as an author on the website right now because I've so sporadically done articles, but if you type me in the search bar, you'll find a bunch.
Right on. And that was our Babyface promos for the week. And look for us on social media. You'll find us. Rope Break doing big things this year. That being said, I don't have the segments in front of me.
So we're gonna go right into chain wrestling.
Okay.
So this is where we're just breaking ropes and casting pods like normal. We're just gonna talk about topics that have kind of stood out to us. Which I could start. You could start. I have something to talk about.
By all means, go ahead.
I know. I just realized that we didn't put Drosy in here at all. We didn't put the dumpster.
Okay. That's so quick that could be.
You just don't want it to be too close to Booyah.
Right.
So it should probably go maybe after the promo. Do Drosy and then chain wrestling?
I think people want to hear about the current product. Pretty quick, fairly quickly. Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
Well,
I was lost. I'm sorry.
I thought it was very interesting the way. So, I'm enjoying the SmackDown product. It seems as though it flips back and forth for me. 1 second I'm high on Raw, then I hate Raw, then I hate SmackDown, then I'm high on SmackDown.
I think a week ago or two you said you would rather watch TNA than SmackDown.
Right, until
no one ever said that, but
until they did this, they're setting these programs up the right way. This Battle Royal this past week was fantastic. I thought it was a great match. Some of the stuff was a little clunky, like within the ring work itself, but it set up a lot of great stories, namely a little bit of the Cena Miz thing, which I have some gripes about, I'll talk about later. But I really enjoyed maybe Ziggler and Kalisto. With all the mask stuff, this is the second time that he's explored like taking off the mask and stuff like that. A mask versus hair match with Ziggler and Kalisto might actually get me a little bit more invested into Dolph Ziggler again. Is that something you guys might want to see?
I thought the Battle Royal was really good, too. At the end, they didn't show the replay, but like you guys were saying, I know they said the legs both hit the ground at the same time, but I'm pretty sure that AJ Styles touched by accident first.
Yeah, that was a mistake. That's why they didn't do that camera angle.
That's why I was like, that's why they couldn't replay it, correct?
Right, I would have to assume that. So basically, AJ Styles and Luke Harper in the storyline hit the ground at the same time, making way for two winners, and they have to decide the actual winner who will go on to the main event of Wrestle. Well, the air quote main event.
Air quote
main event next week. So it'll be between AJ Styles and Luke Harper. And
I enjoyed that, like you said, it was setting up the feuds with the other wrestlers as it was going on. Like I know Baron Corbin and Dean Ambrose too, right? Is that what they're going for the Intercontinental title?
They must be going in that regard.
Which I'm thankful for. I love the fact that it's not an Intercontinental ladder fucking disaster again at WrestleMania. Yeah. Good. A match.
I'm enjoying the
Steamboat and Savage didn't have a ladder disaster. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels had a ladder match, but it wasn't a fucking 10-man ladder match.
Right. Mm-hmm. I enjoy. I'm enjoying. I don't like him on the mic, but I'm enjoying the way that Baron Corbin is being portrayed. To be quite honest with you, that finish. They're really doing their best to make that finish over.
That finish is over as fuck.
It's getting there.
Which I think is the only thing that had him over in NXT to begin with.
Or is that more over now, just how he says
it? That was never...
End of days.
See, I think the end of days isn't necessarily over yet, but it's protected. And the company is doing the best thing they can to protect that finish, call it the right way with Morrow, like you said, hit it at the right times with the right people, and everyone, all the wrestlers who are taking that move are doing a great job at really selling it and really making it look good. I mean, even Cena got up. The key is you have to really kick those legs forward on the build-up part of it so that he can make it look that much more impactful on the whip part now. So with that, I'm enjoying Baron Corbin. He's not my favorite wrestler by any stretch, and neither is Dean Ambrose, to be quite honest with you, but I think it's a good program. I would like to see some wrestlers on SmackDown wearing actual ring gear. Everyone's in T-shirts and jeans.
Well, I want to elaborate on that point drastically because it pisses me off. But I also want to say that Baron Corbin had a really good interview recently, like out of kayfabe. And he was like, yeah, man, the internet, I don't give a shit about... Because his persona is pretty close to who he portrays in real life.
If he portrayed more of himself in real life, his persona would be better.
Yeah. And he's like, I don't give a shit what these internet fans say at all. I'm a professional athlete. I played in the NFL. All of a sudden, I have a match with Kalisto at TLC, and people think I'm good. He's like, I was always good. I was always the exact same guy I am. I haven't changed anything. You guys just noticed. I love that. I actually think it's And
it's funny because he's been fantastic on Talking Smack, and he was fantastic on that that feature that I can't remember the name of it right now, but that feature they had on the NXT stars. So basically, we're invested in the reality character of Baron Corbin, but we're not invested in what they've portrayed.
The tummy scar. Yeah, we're not invested in the tummy scar.
Is that his belly button?
Is that a scar? Like, what is it?
It looks like
weird, flat.
It looks like a little mouth.
It looks like the emoji where the mouth is flat. Right?
Listen, that guy was a professional lineman in the NFL, and he trimmed up. So let the guy have a little stomach fat. But I've been making fun of this guy's belly button forever.
Yeah.
It looks like a little mouth. I just kind of like want to wiggle it. Like
He thinned out pretty.
I would not say that to his face. How's that? And I wouldn't make fun of his fair hair to his face.
that I might do.
Not to his
Because
face.
maybe it'll get him to shave it.
No.
He would have a good look bald. Like
He
it
would.
It wouldn't hurt his. It wouldn't hurt him being bald.
No.
What do you think the deal is there?
I don't
with the
want to
hair?
see him bald. I like the hair.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
you
I'm just trying to fuck with
Has
you guys.
anybody
I don't
seen the Rocky Horror Show, right?
Yeah.
So, what's his name? Fucking Riff Raff. Like, grimy, fucking... That's what his hair looks like. You know? If his gimmick... He doesn't have a gimmick, but if his thing is like this kind of almost post-apocalyptic end of days, like, I'm the survivor, I think the lone wolf thing is dumb. Like, because, like, everyone calls themselves a lone wolf. But... You know, I'm standing tall at the end of, when civilization crumbles, I'm tough enough to survive. If that's his thing, then that hair actually works really well.
Okay.
Because he looks like a goddamn zombie.
Sure.
Also, hair plugs, maybe. But, hey. I mean, not everyone can be, Dolph Ziggler.
Sure.
With luscious locks.
Sure. Let's take a second to just talk about Samoa Joe. This is something that we haven't been on the air with yet. We haven't talked really about the appearance of Samoa Joe. I think it's been incredible. I think they're booking him the 100% correct way, and he's doing all the right things, and he looks menacing. And whoever said 5, 6, 7 years ago that Samoa Joe wasn't big enough or wasn't imposing enough for the WWE was severely wrong, Vince. You were fucking wrong, because he looks like the biggest badass in the company, and rightfully so, and he should.
Can I make a comment real quick?
Of course.
Maybe
This is
5
chain
or
wrestling.
6 years ago, he wasn't. Right?
Okay.
You got a bunch of Ring of Honor guys in there, right? Seth Rollins is big for a Ring of Honor guy.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's tall.
So, Samoa Joe is bigger now than he was then physically, even if he hasn't grown an inch.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yes, just based on the guys he's standing next to.
Exactly.
I understand that.
You put him in the ring with Braun Strowman. So the reason why I've always loved Samoa Joe is because of Taz. Because I love Taz. Mm-hmm. Taz is shorter than Samoa Joe, and a little more fit, but not as bulky, right? So I always said, no matter what, like when Taz was in ECW cutting promos on Kevin Nash, who's 7 feet tall, I was like, yeah, he would fuck Kevin Nash up. Like that guy, I bought it. I was like, okay, I'm scared of you. Samoa Joe, I buy it. Like, you're tough. I've seen you take crazy moves and deliver crazy moves and fuck people up. So do I see Samoa Joe standing toe-to-toe with a 7-foot Kevin Nash or Braun Strowman?
Triple H.
Yes, 100%. Taz stood up to Triple H. That match on SmackDown that has gone down in history as burying ECW, I get it. But, like, Taz held his own. When he applied moves and Triple H sold, it was like, holy shit, this guy could win this match, right? That's what Samoa Joe has, I think, personally.
Do you think they're going for the four horsemen route?
Yeah, you think they're gonna do a little stable here? Because that was my next topic.
I had to bring that up. That was actually, I'll give the credit to Joe on that one because he talked to me about that earlier in the week.
Yeah, and so
with Owens,
with Kevin Owens in the suit, with Triple H, Samoa Joe.
Because here's how it laid out to me. Joe comes down. We know Joe is now the heavy for Triple H. Okay, at this current moment, they come out of the limo together, looking slick. Real slick.
Yep.
Evolution, 4 Horsemen style. They come out of the limo together. They look good. We get the spotlight, all dark, over Kevin Owens. Nothing but the spotlight. A lot of it was for that spotlight line that he spit, which was fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
The spotlight's on me now.
Yep.
Oh, man. Got the chills for that one. But he comes out in his suit, and he looks good. And he mentions Joe. He's the best player in the game, And all that stuff.
So who's going to be the fourth? That's the question, right?
We don't know yet. But
if there's a fourth, but even those 3 guys, the way you just said that,
it's unbelievable.
Oh,
yeah, and that's the way they're going.
I didn't think about it.
Evolution.
I didn't see it coming.
Triple H is in the Flair role for Evolution, right? Owens is in the Triple H role with the belt. Joe is the heavy like Batista, and they need Norton. Norton Comer.
Who you guys have any predictions of who we think could be the
Ty Dillinger?
fourth person?
He's not big enough.
No, and he doesn't look good in a suit. You know who's been wearing a suit? It's Cassius Ohno.
Okay.
He's been wearing a suit.
Oh my fuck!
So we'll see.
Stop. That's silly. There's no way. There's no fucking way.
It will be. It will take.
I didn't mean to scream into.
No, it'll take Triple H eating some humble pie and swallowing his words to put Cassius Ohno in that spot. So I don't know if that's going to happen with all the body shaming he did and all that stuff.
Imagine that though.
Plus
putting him on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. Plus, you're gonna not listen. I love Joe, love Owens. You're gonna need somebody with a body.
Let me ask you
You
Like
can't-
Cesaro.
Maybe someone like that.
But they won't.
They won't
If
do
they
that.
were going to push him, they would have.
Yeah.
Do you think they could put Braun Strowman in that role?
No, they don't need him. Braun Strowman is needs to stay on his own island right now.
And Joe's the
Okay.
heavy.
And Joe's
going to be
heavy.
the heavy. Who could really play that role? It's a tough man.
Well, you got to look at NXT. He's got to bring somebody up to fit that role specifically.
Sure.
Do you think they'll bring someone up for NXT,
You
or
know
do you
who
think it's a current guy on the roster now?
Yeah. No, I think it's NXT.
You know who I don't think they know yet. That's why it's not a full out stable yet.
What if they took those two tag team guys that are like I can't think of their names.
The Club?
Ciampa and Gargano?
Yeah, the two
DIY?
guys that,
Oh no, you're talking about the Revival.
yeah.
No,
They got them- they
that
got-
would be cool. That would be cool. But then now you're talking about a 5-man stable, and that doesn't work for me.
Scott Dawson.
Okay, but I don't want to
With the
break
mustache.
I
He's
don't
the one
want-
with the
yeah,
mustache?
I don't want to break them up yet.
He's probably the best person on the mic I've heard in years.
He's great, but he's very Arn Anderson. And if you're gonna do
Wrestling-wise, but Arn Anderson was never that good on the mic. That motherfucker is good.
I beg to differ. Arn Anderson is just as good on the mic, except that you had the Nature Boy standing there and J.J. Dillon.
Okay.
So, therefore, he got a little lost in the shuffle. If you go back to the 92, 93 era and really get to see Arn cut his own promo, all that television title stuff, you can really see Arn Anderson's ability to cut a promo.
Okay.
I've seen him a time or two. But I also think that maybe you do you do a Finn Balor? No, right? Because you want that to go to the club. Because think you got to
That'd be good, though.
The way my train of thought is going is the you need somebody to fill that Orton role, right? So can't really be Cassius Ohno. It could be a Finn, maybe, right? But Finn Balor's already established as the Demon, and you don't want to go mess with the Demon, which wouldn't fit into the stable. So no Finn Balor.
So Finn Balor doesn't go to the club either.
Not yet.
You just have AJ do the club.
Not yet, right?
This is chain wrestling, so we're going topic to topic, and I'm not going to sit on this. I'm just going to throw it out there. But like a cross-brand club would be epic as fuck.
Well, that's what we've already kind of got.
Well, but
The Bullet Club's in New Japan, Ring of Honor, and the WWE.
But that's what I'm saying. But yes, I'm sorry. Yes, but I meant between Raw and SmackDown. I meant you have guys in the club on Raw, guys in the club on SmackDown, and it's a stable that runs both shows for a little while. Then you reunite the Shield to go after them.
That would be really cool. That would be cool.
That's what I think.
I don't have the faith in the WWE to not convolute that.
Yeah, it'd be awful.
And then all of a sudden now you've got guys showing up on both brands, and now we've got no.
And now Sami Zayn is in the Shield, and it's like, no, gay. But
Is Cesaro and Sheamus going to fight at WrestleMania?
No, they're not going to break those guys up yet.
They're going to keep it together?
I think that tag team has actually progressed in leaps and bounds.
So you think they're going to stay?
Yeah. Prince Puma. Prince Puma could be. Oh, what the fuck is his
Ricochet?
Could be that fourth guy. If they ever get him. If they ever get him, he could be the fourth guy. Sorry,
he's no, but I wanted to come back to that conversation,
Okay.
so thank you. But I mean, he's not Orton. Orton was like third generation, looks like $1 million. Ricochet would not be that.
Yeah, Joe's not Batista either.
And Owens isn't Triple H.
Right.
So it's the indie evolution.
Right.
So yeah, Ricochet fits in perfectly. And he doesn't want to do cruiserweight. Have you read the interviews where he's like, "Listen, man, like nothing, no disrespect to those guys, they're great, but I don't want to do that. I want to be Finn Balor." Is basically what he said. But
cool. So Sheamus and Cesaro. I think I think they're actually building as a tag team and getting some chemistry that nobody really saw happening. So I think you let that tag team ride out a little bit longer. They're not doing the feuding with each other thing that we've seen anymore. So
I'm gonna go roll a different way with it. I think that because they don't have the titles anymore, and they're gonna go a different route with the tag team titles, and Cass and Enzo have the title shot, correct?
Yep.
I think that Cesaro and Sheamus, something's going to happen with them again, and they're going to split up. But I don't know necessarily if they're going to be feuding against each other again, or if they're going to have one final match to, because remember the best of 7, they couldn't get a winner.
Yep.
Maybe they'll have one final match at WrestleMania, and then they'll split off. I don't really know.
Maybe.
That's why.
I think for right this second,
But you could be right too.
I think for right this second, there's too many programs to go dive into another program with somebody like that. Plus, I really think they're going to try their best to focus on some real tag teams.
They need tag teams.
So for right now, they'll maybe let those guys ride out a little bit.
They could.
But circling back around to the fact that Enzo and Cass beat them to be the number one contenders. Finally, and I agree with you. And they're super over, but they still left Enzo laying looking like a schmuck.
They make Enzo look like a little bitch. Like they let him win a few matches or something, or win him on his own, because it's like Big Cass does everything. Big Cass saves him. Big Cass wins all the matches for them. Enzo just gets, he's annihilated every single match.
And not only that, okay, it's clear that Big Cass is going to be Vince's guy. That's fine.
Yeah.
Let it be that way, right? But it's so obvious that Enzo Amore is over. Let him draw some money for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Let the guy win. If you really want to, let him wrestle in your 205 division then.
Yeah, whatever.
No,
I don't want to see that either, but you got to let the guy win.
To a Cass.
You got to let the guy win or something. He's already over. Let him draw some money for you.
And if what your end goal is to split them up, hype it more.
Yep.
But whatever, regardless. I don't know.
Is there anything else with chain wrestling that you'd like to cover before we move on to our next segment?
Right. No, not for me.
Okay. All right. So that was the chain wrestling segment, and now we're moving along. What segment we got next for you guys?
We've got In This Corner. So we're just talking about stuff that's going on here. And this week is particularly relevant because not only is Wrestlefest 21 from Northeast Wrestling, I've been going to Northeast Wrestling shows for fucking 17 years. I met Jake the Snake Roberts. I met Psycho Sid. We
were at the same show with that Psycho Sid one. Torrington High School.
My sign said Sid still rules the world.
Thomaston High School. Sorry.
Yeah.
Torrington High School. Yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Because at one point, Sid definitely ruled the world.
And that guy with the yellow, the fucking Shane Douglas wannabe guy. Oh, God, I hope he never hears this because I'm not talking shit. But he wanted to be Shane Douglas real bad. He was good. And Sid had trouble getting him up for a powerbomb.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Xavier, though,
yeah.
Ring of Honor stalwart in the beginning. That's where Tony DeVito from the fucking Baldies is a guy from Waterbury, right?
Yep.
Ends up on ECW in the final days, as a pretty prominent guy.
Mm-hmm. So Mike Quackenbush, who is famous for owning Chikara, running Chikara, and then doing a lot of work with Evolve, tied into the WWE again. Mike Quackenbush was a big staple in the indie scene back, especially up here in New England, back right around the time you're talking about.
Yeah.
And
Human High Right, Real, Bobby Real, Billy Real.
How insane was a simple frog splash to the outside through a table back then? He would do that spot and it'd be the biggest spot of the event.
Be freaking out.
Yeah. So, basically,
so NEW is a staple of local wrestling in Connecticut, in the area.
In the country. NEW is one of the biggest indie promotions in the country. Without a doubt. It's well documented. As a matter of fact, the last episode of Colt Cabana's podcast I heard talked about Mike Lombardi, formerly known as Mike O'Brien, from NEW. And we've seen plenty of guys come out of here, as Bear alluded to a little bit before. Matt Taven namely was one of the biggest stars right now. Warbeard Hansen is still, heavy in the mix over here in NEW.
Well, and another thing they do is bring in the old guys. So, like, Jerry Lawler is an NEW mainstay.
Sure.
I've seen Goldust. I've seen fucking Goldust. I love Goldust. I'm a mark. But I've seen Goldust at NEW shows.
Sure.
I've seen Mickey James at NEW shows.
Right. And Mike does a great job of not only he doesn't super localize, but he does a good job of regionalizing. Hence Northeast Wrestling. And big events like the one Wrestlefest that we see in Waterbury every year, which is great. It's coming up next Friday on March 3rd at Crosby High School. That's 300 Pierpont Road in Waterbury. We also see things out in the Dutchess County.
Wrestling under the stars.
Just like I was talking about, Dutchess County in Fishkill every summer. That's a great event. Wrestling
Biggest
under the
indie
stars.
event that's not Ring of Honor.
Sure. And it gives that old school stadium feel to it, and you get to see it at a big baseball arena, and they do a great job. Plus, they were tied into doing some work with MetLife Stadium a couple summers ago and all that stuff. So basically, like I said before, we've got WrestleFest number 21 coming to Crosby High School this coming Friday, March 3rd, 2017 at 8 p.m. With that, we will see Marty Jannetty, Maria Manic, Mandy Leone, a fantastic tag match between Adrenaline Rush and the Battle Brothers. The Battle Brothers are a couple big men who really do a good job of that traditional tag wrestling. They do a good job of cutting off the ring. They put the guy in the corner. They'll beat him down a little bit. And those guys are sort of a throwback to a previous generation of tag team wrestling, which we've seen in the Revival on the WWE level. And I'd like to see that kind of progress as we get more and more into tag teams.
And Adrenaline Rush are just like, not in a negative sense. I'm just saying they do like the high spots. They do.
Right. So that being said, it'll be an interesting tag match for sure. Yeah. It's sure to be a dynamic one.
I just want to. I'm just going to talk about my boy Bull Dread. Like, I love this guy. He's proven himself over and over and over again. He's local talent. He lives in Waterbury. Good guy, and he's fighting Cam Zagami with Romeo Rosselli. I recognize Romeo. I don't know Cam Zagami, but I'm telling you, like, it's going to be a good match. The guy always has good matches. He loves the business. He talks about the classics. He talks about, respect for everything that came before you. And the guy lost like 100 pounds. He lost like 100 pounds in the last year. He's doing a great job. He's in his prime, after his prime. And, if you want to see somebody who's been around the block and really, earned his stripes, Bull Dread is always going to be your guy. The Sexy Beast is what he's got going on now. So he was Connecticut's Beast. He was like, the original hardcore icon of Connecticut. And now he's like playing this like Italian, like Romeo, and it's really good. That's worth the price of admission as far as the independent aspect goes from a company that's bringing in guys like Ryback. You know what I mean?
Sure, absolutely. And it's good to see that these local guys are able to get into the mix so heavily with some more nationally known acts. We've got a triple threat match with Travis Gordon versus Brad Hollister and Vinny Marseglia. Not familiar with these guys 100%, but anyone who's willing to go wrestle as Vinny Marseglia has to be good. The Godfather, he's one of those guys like Goldust that you talked about with NEW.
Yeah.
He's in the mix all the time around here. He comes, he leaves his strip club that he runs in Vegas.
Dude, I just wish he was as Papa Shango, but I can't change those things.
Correct.
I would even take Kama Mustafa. I would take the gold chain. I would take the flat top. I would love that. But if he wants hose, Waterbury is the place to go. Self high five.
Our boy Ron Zombie.
Yo, my dude, Ron Zombie. This guy trained at the fucking Monster Factory. Like, he's in the New England Wrestling Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? You might not have heard of him. Doesn't mean that he's not been around. This guy's wrestled on television. He was right there tight with all the ECW originals, and he's, always in the mix at NEW.
And he's a good worker in the ring. You will not get a bad match out of Ron Zombie for sure. His feud over the past couple years with Brian Anthony was incredible. Great stuff.
And since that, he had a feud with Dan DeMann, who is another local staple, right? And they brought Matt Hardy into the mix. Like, Ron Zombie comes out and says, we're going to delete you, me and my buddy, Broken Matt Hardy, who was the hottest thing in wrestling when that happened, like a month or two ago.
Mm-hmm. And Northeast Wrestling sells DVDs and stuff. And if you want to go check out any of those feuds that we just talked about, you can just go to northeastwrestling.com. I mean, I'm looking right now at Zombie's Last Stand from last summer with his feud with Warbeard Hansen. The Big Bethany Bash was a great big event that put over the current NEW champion, TKO Orion, over Brian Anthony, kind of paving the way, as we know. It kind of should go into wrestling. So check all that out at northeastwrestling.com. Moving on the Wrestlefest 21 card, Dijak. If you guys watch Ring of Honor, you know that this is a very good big man. He's nice and tall. He does a lot of great indie
super
spots.
Super athletically gifted.
Yep, super athletically gifted.
Acai moonsault from a guy who's like 7 feet tall. Like, come on.
And also with that, he doesn't make every match just a spot fest. He's really starting to get a grasp of the psychology and things that go around the world of wrestling. And he's taking on Wrecking Ball Legursky.
Yeah, and Wrecking Ball's a good guy. Like, this is actually an individual that I've trained with. I say that to put myself over, because now this guy if you go on WWE.com and type in the word super heavyweights, you're going to see a video of this guy's recent Performance Center tryout. Like, and this is just a guy. You know what I mean? That's the best part.
Well, a very, very big guy.
400-plus pound guy.
Yeah.
But what I mean is he's a good person who I know, and I'm telling you right now, like, he commands an audience. He is the essential throwback to wrestling. Like,
he can take a bump.
Big, hairy motherfucker who's going to beat you up. Yep. So him versus Dijak is actually a really compelling matchup. Actually, Joe, off the air, you had mentioned that it's tough for Dijak to get him up for that finish.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Dijak's finish, it's like a reverse Burning Hammer, which is strange because a Burning Hammer is kind of a reverse Fireman's Carry Slam. But he puts the what is it, the Yuji Katami, where they put the knee out. It's like a go to sleep, but it moves the other way. Anyway, it's impressive to see a big man do that. I don't think he's going to be able to get Wrecking Ball Legursky into that. But as Bear talked about before, we'll see the Acai Moonsault for sure. Moving on, Jerry the King Lawler, a NEW staple, will be in the house. I would be willing to bet that he'll just get in the ring, do some mic time. I don't think he'll be involved too heavily in a match.
Hope he hits a pile driver, though.
We'll see. He might get a little physical. I think it's going to be more along the lines of the right hand as opposed to a pile driver.
Second rope punch.
I just put everyone on this card over until I scrolled across Big Khali's name. Fuck him. He doesn't belong anywhere near a wrestling ring. I don't care. I'm still having nightmares about that fucking stupid whatever bamboo cage match that they had.
Yeah, the Punjabi prison.
Oh, Jesus Christ. TKO Ryan versus War King Hansen. What a match this one is going to be. This is for the NEW title. TKO Ryan, super compelling guy to watch in the ring. He can adapt to anyone's style. He does a great bouye section of a spot. If you've seen it before, he does it probably a little bit better than everyone else. He does a little bit more selling, which which in turn engages the crowd that much more. And I must have talked about how much I love Warbeard.
Oh, it's great! What a good big man. Why would you ever not bring him in to be in the Wyatt family? Are you fucking high?
Well, you know what though? He works in a very similar style as Luke Harper.
Good.
Yeah, which is great. And that spinning heel kick is great too.
If Rowan can't go for whatever reason, Rowan's active on Twitter and not active in the ring. You got working hand beard. Fuck. Okay, I'm done. I just makes me angry.
The Ryback will be appearing at Crosby High School on March 3rd, Wrestlefest.
Hopefully he keeps his fucking mouth shut, but
not a huge Ryback fan, but he's taking on the Man Scout Jake Manning, who always brings the comedy.
Where's Brian Anthony in all this?
I believe he is taking a bit of a sabbatical from NEW. I think he might be working in other places at this current moment. Like I mentioned a little earlier, he put over TKO Ryan for the belt.
Okay.
I'm sure we'll see. Brian Anthony again in the near future.
Ron Zombie doesn't have a dancing partner,
right? Maybe that'll come out in the Army of One thing. Yeah, maybe we'll see that. Ryback versus Man Scout Jake Manning. If you ever see Man Scout Manning, he's a weird guy. It's kind of funny.
And I saw him fight Wrecking Ball actually. So
yes,
you know he's good at getting beat up.
Yeah,
it's good.
This is the match right here. if this one isn't worth the price of admission alone and the trip to the dirty water, Crosby High School is better than the area.
This match is why I might not be drunk for this pay-per-view or for this event.
Kurt Angle versus Cody Rhodes in a cage match. Man, I'm looking forward to seeing this one for sure. As a matter of fact, as the Shockmaster told me, it's actually a bit of a monumental match for Kurt Angle in that
his literal final appearance as a non-WWE product.
Right, it's going to be the last time we see him on the indies in this current incarnation before he heads into the Hall of Fame and all that comes with it.
I mean, like, but, you know, if WWE is going to be really careful about him and, like, treat him with kid gloves and not let him do crazy shit, he's in a cage match with Cody Rhodes. This motherfucker's doing a moonsault off the top of that cage.
Maybe they both will.
I know, right? I actually wish it wasn't a cage match for myself, selfishly, because I want to see them wrestle.
Sure.
But this is going to be a debacle. It's going to be awesome.
It is going to be good. And the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, I mean, he's just been all over the place. He's been incredible. He's been all over the world. And he has really, really been impressive on this indie run. Not that he was never an impressive performer, but it's impressive of how he's taken to the indie scene and made it his own.
Oh, he's like, yo, listen, you guys don't like what I bring, then I'm going to bring what I bring elsewhere. And he's in Japan. He's doing huge everywhere he goes.
He could have very easily taken the prissy, I made it to the WWE. I don't need this stuff. I could work here.
Where is Ted DiBiase Jr.?
Right. Well, Ted didn't want it. Yeah, but see, that's a little different.
But I'm saying, you know, by comparison.
Correct.
It's clear that Cody Rhodes embraces the business, loves the business, and wants to do this. Whereas Ted DiBiase obviously didn't. So, you know, he shows up and wrestles once in a while and, you know, makes a couple bucks because he's the $1 million kid. He should come back. But fucking Cody Rhodes is like, no, actually, WWE, you're not treating me with the appropriate respect for my heritage. So I'm going to go earn it the way my dad did, because what did Dusty Rhodes do? He didn't make his name in fucking New York.
Right.
Right?
Yep, he didn't.
And when he went to New York, they were like, no, we want to make you look like shit because you made your name elsewhere. Right? Polka dots.
For the most part, yeah, for the most part, that's what they did. But of course, Dusty, in true pro fashion, made the very best of it, and even got that gimmick over.
Yeah,
3 that 5.
And that's. I was a kid. I was like, "Who's this fat fucking polka dots?" Right?
Yeah.
As a kid,
yeah.
You know, and now it's like shit. That guy was one of the greatest wrestling minds of our time.
How much is it to sit front row at this thing, or in the closed sections?
Tickets start at $20. I believe I saw an email come through that the only tickets available left are general admission. The first 4 or 5 rows are sold out.
It's actually been that way for like
a while.
2 months.
Yeah, and this is
as soon as Kurt Angle got announced for the Hall of Fame.
And this is a very established event anyway.
Yeah.
So it would have sold out no matter what.
They on resale anywhere too?
Not usually, no. These are not at resale because these are marks who want to come go and see it. Friday, March 3rd, 2017, 8 p.m., Crosby High School, 300 Pierpont Road in Waterbury. It's a stacked card. Probably the most stacked Wrestlefest that we've seen from NEW.
Wouldn't it be great if they like gave us tickets for hyping them for the last 20 minutes?
Now you've crossed into territory where I'm not going to no longer put them over anymore. So for this current moment, I'm not going to go into that diatribe. We'll see how that turns out. I've turned over a little bit of a new leaf in the new incarnation of the rope break. I'm going to try and be.
Can I say that I spoke to a wrestler recently, and I'm not going to say who it is, but if I say who it isn't, guys who I love, then I don't. Then I'm gonna expose who it is. So I'm not going to say anything. I spoke to a wrestler who wouldn't shout out PWA for getting his start, and I'm like, oh. But like, I hate to hear that things happen where people don't want to promote each other, because isn't everyone supposed to scratch each other's back? But in this business, no one scratches any back. It's sad to me. I think everyone should promote each other because we're all doing the same thing and we all enjoy the same thing.
You could scratch my back if you want, except my back is located on my cock.
Daddy. You said that.
You know, that's from a movie.
Okay.
Super bad.
That's good.
But
Don't scratch my dick. That sounds really
a
painful.
little bit more painful than it should.
But yeah, I don't mind hyping fucking NEW even if they don't know who
What
we
was
are.
what was the
Doesn't
reason?
matter.
What was the reason for hyping PWA? Was it falling out? Or?
Yeah, falling out's everywhere.
But it wasn't that said person was unhappy with his education.
No, not from my gathering at all. You know what I mean? That's essentially what I mean. Is like, how would you have ever gotten a ring? I mean, I guess somewhere you would have.
Interesting.
And if that individual's listening to this podcast right now, like, listen, man, I love you too. I love all of it. I love wrestling in general. And I realize that all of wrestling doesn't love itself and each other, but I just, it's like...
It's unfortunate.
We are going to hype NEW because it's local and it's wrestling. I'm going to hype... There's actually, there are going to be local events by people who I don't like, personally, that I'm still going to hype because I think, that's what we're doing here.
100%. And that's a great way to end the segment. Lombardi, hit us up with some tickets. That was In This Corner.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to be the harbinger of bad news. Nobody likes to be, but I will be. And I'm going to tell you about a segment that I'm very, very proud to have to put forward. I want to honor one of wrestling's greats. I want to commemorate someone who has been on WWE television, who has a lasting name in this business. I want to dedicate every fucking week. I want to dedicate something to Duke Drosy's dumpster.
What a gimmick.
What don't you like?
Don't you love the mid-90s? People had jobs. The entire the entire
the Repo Man.
Yeah, the entire company, the entire WWF was based on the fact that people had day jobs.
Vince was like, "Well, you're not big enough, so what are you doing in your spare time?"
Abe Knuckleball Schwartz.
What was that?
That was Vince saying Abe Knuckleball Schwartz.
Oh, Knuckleball. Right. MVP. Paint a baseball on your face. That'll get them buying tickets to the show.
All this reality wrestling they're doing in Atlanta makes me want to puke.
He's gonna puke. All right. You want to play games, Tori? All right.
We're half in the bag now.
Hey, Vince.
Anyway.
Vince, for the record, let me call NXT. Oh, look at this. No, okay. Yeah.
That's Triple H's thing, though. Vince has nothing to do with that, unfortunately.
You know what? There's nothing with a WWE logo on it that Vince doesn't have any say in.
Yeah, but he's... As a matter of fact, Elimination Chamber, Vince wasn't even there. It was all run by Triple H. And so... The guy's in his 70s, man.
No way.
Yeah, no, it's true. That's definitely true. Documented and everything, but he's in his 70s. I mean, how much more can you do with the way?
No, I understand. I'm just saying, for his desires, for what he wants to do. He wants to do everything.
Right.
Motherfucker's banging and clanging just like The Rock, and he's not even in movies.
Banging and clanging and banging and clanging, 4 a.m. Okay, so for this segment, we have the trashiest, shittiest, most garbage-worthy segment named after the beloved Duke Drosy.
Yeah.
So
just the thing you want to put in the dumpster. The thing that's like, okay, this week, you know what? I actually want to talk about this long enough to never talk about it again.
Excellence of Exhale. What is the thing that you wanted to put in the trash this week?
Nia Jax had another squash match on Raw, which, I wasn't really looking forward to because as soon as I saw her coming out and then obviously the opponent was already in the ring, I was like, oh, I already know what's going on here.
So you think that she should be up in the main event picture? Do you think she should be mixing it up with the women on the roster? Do you think that we should just not have jobbers on our television screen?
I think they're leading her up to a main event eventually, maybe WrestleMania area, but why put her against, like, you have her in the scenario with Bayley and Sasha Banks and Charlotte, a couple weeks before, and now all of a sudden they got nothing for her again. So she's back to squash matches. Why can't we just have her fight, somebody that's already in WWE, somebody that we know. I understand the point of the squash matches, but it's like, we already went through this. We already had this time where she did this for fucking 2 months. And now, all of a sudden, we're back to doing this again.
So do you think it would be more fair if, like, Sasha and Bayley and Charlotte all had squash matches as well? Or would you rather just do away with it completely?
I would say it's tough to say, like, because you like to see the fact that they're giving a jobber a chance, but it almost hurts them a little bit too, because it's like it's a good thing for them also, but at the same time it's like it makes them look so fucking weak all the time, because it's like if they're gonna let a jobber be on Raw and be in a WWE match, at least let them get some moves off or something, like not let them just get dominated the whole time they're in the match.
Sure, and you can do that stuff maybe with a Bayley. Yeah. If a Bayley was in a job match, exactly. I could see her selling a little bit, just to sort of get that sympathetic babyface thing going on, which would be great. In Nia Jax's case, I would like to see her be a little bit more menacing and a little bit more angry on the microphone and things. She seems to be cutting these sort of very bland, very basic promos. And when you're trying to build this woman as the monster of the division, the jobber stuff, in my opinion, would be good, except the fact that they're not giving it the counterpoints that it needs, in that she should be saying either nothing or very menacing, monstrous promos.
Just like
Braun Strowman, like Roman Reigns?
Or like the same thing.
Roman Reigns should be, Braun Strowman is.
Right? Yeah.
Correct. And then to your point, Bear, I think that, yes, maybe we could benefit a little bit from some jobber stuff within the women's division. Being that the women's division is sort of getting exposed now as to being very thin roster-wise.
Very thin.
Very thin. And not being... So having these jobbers mixed in with these matches not only progresses the women's... the public view of the women wrestlers, but it also just gives them some time, as opposed to flopping that title back and forth on a television on a regular basis.
Or why not give Nia Jax like a bigger girl to fight? Like, they don't have a bigger girl that's a jobber that could come in and fight her, like somebody more of a respectable opponent. Instead, you give her someone that's 200 pounds less than her. It's like, it doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
It's too like,
too
maybe they're making
one-sided.
it look... I understand in the beginning when she first came up, we can make it look easy and we can make it look like she's dominating, but now at this point, they've already mixed her in with the main event girls of WWE on Raw. So it's like Bayley, like we said, Sasha Banks, Charlotte. It's like, why is she going back to this jobber thing right now?
So between reverting to the jobber thing, between her shitty mic skills, and between not having any direction for her, really, we could basically put all of Nia Jax's situation right now in the dumpster, right?
Of course.
Dump it.
Dump it.
Who you got in the dumpster?
I have the lead up to Bray Wyatt's world title win in the dumpster.
Now, you realize that you seem to be in the minority amongst fans, namely the internet fans.
That's great, because you guys are not thinking about what it takes to earn your way to the World Heavyweight Championship, right? Like, this guy happened to be in the Elimination Chamber match and won it. That really? Oh. Like, you didn't...
All three of us predicted it, by the way.
Well, yeah, you didn't see it going that way.
No, we predicted it because we read the dirt sheets and we know, like, what they want to do at WrestleMania. Exactly. We didn't predict it because we were basing it on the storyline. As far as kayfabe is concerned, Bray Wyatt doesn't even care about the world title. He doesn't even think about the world title. He just wants people to fucking follow him and, like, be obsessed with his vision, right? So, I'm just saying, Bray Wyatt did not, like, decide to go after the world title, have a struggle that he had to overcome adversity and earn it. So if those fans are going to sit back there and be like, you deserve it. I mean, physically, does he deserve it? He's gifted. He's physically gifted. He's a second generation superstar. He's an incredible third. I'm sorry. I meant third. I actually did mean third. I'm sorry. I said second. He's a visionary on the microphone. He has a compelling character that he really hasn't made very compelling lately, but that's not his fault. It's TV's fault. I'm not even going to blame an individual. I'm just going to say there's only so much TV. If you're going to give this guy the belt,
5 hours out of a 24-hour period,
make it special, right? When Undertaker because you have to compare Bray Wyatt to The Undertaker for his entire career, because that's what he's doing. When Undertaker beat Hulk Hogan for the world title, it was kind of a surprise. It kind of came out of nowhere, but you made it special. It was like, holy shit, he beat Hulk Hogan? Bray Wyatt beating John Cena. Holy shit, he beat John Cena? Yeah, but it was in an elimination chamber. It was with 6 other fucking guys. You're telling 5 different stories. If you want to make Bray Wyatt's world title win special, you need to build it up that way. You could have had the next Undertaker, and instead you have like a guy who like the fans still don't really know what his deal is. He had a family that all looked the same, and now he's got one guy who is already established who won't change his look for him. It's kind of like you could have done a lot more with Bray Wyatt, could have made it much bigger, and you just like were like, well, here's the belt because at WrestleMania we want you to fight Orton.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Sure. There are some counterpoints there. I won't dive too deeply in them because I'd like to talk about them a lot more as the road to WrestleMania progresses. We've got quite a few weeks now between now and WrestleMania where we could talk a lot about the path of Bray Wyatt here. And I'd be willing to bet that they might correct some of those things that you're talking about because there's still time. And with that, I think in the match in particular, it wasn't just necessarily about him beating John Cena. It was about them establishing him within the match. They did a very good job of taking him between the Battle Royal that we saw this past Tuesday night and in the Elimination Chamber match in itself. They did a very good job of letting Bray Wyatt get himself and his moveset and his persona all in the mix with Cena and AJ Styles. And I thought the closing sequences of both matches really did a lot to progress Bray Wyatt to where he needs to be in regards to the persona of Bray Wyatt liking the belt. Needing the belt, that ties into the power thing. Once you have the belt, you get to have the power. Mauro Ranallo and JBL have both done a good job of kind of highlighting that in the commentary.
Well, I can throw this out there. Like I saw on SmackDown, like, you know, Cena comes down to the ring, Bray Wyatt's just grinning. AJ Styles comes down to the ring, Bray Wyatt is just grinning. He's just like soaking it up. He's like, yeah, come after it. Come get it because it's mine. I like that.
Sure.
But if you're going to govern a supernatural character and you're going to go beyond just like a sport and make it bigger and make it supernatural and make it a cult atmosphere, you know, all the things that Bray Wyatt is with Lightning, with feuding with The Undertaker, with all that shit, right? If you're going to do all that, I would like to see that incorporated into his actual final eventual climb to the top. And they didn't, in my opinion. They didn't. That's it. They didn't incorporate the supernatural shit into his climb to the world title. That's what I'm throwing in the dumpster because that's the basis of his character.
All right.
Nothing really surprises me anymore because the WWE creative team, we all know, like, they've headed in all different directions before. And it's like, you know, sometimes they hit it right on the head and sometimes we're like, you know, what the fuck are they thinking? You know what I mean? So it's like at this point you could say, I guess it depends which way you look at it. I mean, Bray Wyatt got denied even coming close to a title for so long. We were all like, what the hell?
Yes.
What direction is he going in? You know, this is such a...
What's the point?
You know, he's a main factor on SmackDown right now, and it's like they weren't doing anything with him for so long. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting topic, that's for sure.
Yeah, and so we'll talk about that more as we get toward the road to WrestleMania. But for the Shockmaster, the entire Bray Wyatt Championship build leading into Elimination Chamber is going in the dumpster. For me, personally, it's one little program in particular, and I don't really think this program is going much of anywhere, but Roman Reigns going 50-50 in a match versus the Club twice, a handicap match.
The tag team champions?
The tag team champions. Doc Gallows, who in my personal, not so humble ever opinion, should be a main eventer. I think he's got it. I think he's got the look. I think he's got the experience. I think he's got the moveset. I think he's got the mic skills to be able to be a main eventer somewhere down the line. That mixed with the fact that Machine Gun Carl Anderson is an amazing wrestler. Case in point, this came across my feed again this week. That incredible sequence that Cesaro had. In like it was like a I don't know if it was a 6-way tag or like a 4-way tag, 4 different tag teams in the match, but he did that crazy sequence where he started off, he did the Swiss 1-9 for the first time, and then he came out of the ring, did the
1-9. That's so good.
It was crazy. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
In the end, he ended it with the uppercut in the corner. I remember like that. I know what you're talking about.
He hit the Swiss 1-9. Then he came out and did that Rey Mysterio like double splash to the outside with the knees, double knees to the outside. Then he did a foot stomp on somebody laying on the outside. Then he climbed up to the top rope and hit Anderson with this incredible flying crossbody that took both men to execute to perfection. And I just thought, my point is that highlighted a little bit, just a little glimpse of how good Carl Anderson actually is. And the fact that you're going to have a man who is not even remotely close to being over. In fact, everyone is doing what they can to combat it. His own family member, The Rock, after the show this week, got heat for his movie by mentioning Roman Reigns. This man should not be fighting a dominant tag team who are supposed to be the tag team champions, who can have all the potential in the world, who've proven how over they can actually be.
Who got heat for the Roman Reigns thing? Say it again. I'm sorry.
The Rock. The Rock was filming his movie about Paige.
He mentioned him.
In order for him to get the crowd to boo for the shots that he needed, all he did was mention Roman Reigns. That's literally what happened. That's how not over this man is. Don't let him beat your tag team champions, which you worked so hard establishing where the tag champs should be in the New Day for a fucking year. A fucking year you wanted the New Day to beat that record so bad, and you built them so strong, and they never lost, and they were great on the mic, and they did all these things, only to drop it to the Club, who is nothing. Now you've got him going 50-50 in a match with Roman Reigns. This man is 7 feet fucking tall. He should be beating Roman Reigns by himself.
They dropped it to Sheamus and Cesaro, though, right?
Yeah, well, you know what I mean, though. It was just an end game to get to the Club.
It should have been the Club the whole time. Sheamus and Cesaro probably shouldn't have touched the titles.
And there's no way that Roman Reigns should be even coming close. He should be getting beat. Then at least we'd have some sympathy for
That's
the
why I was happy
face.
with the first match. They ended it by them just beating his fucking ass. You know what I mean? But that's why it was good.
But then they carried it on to the next week.
It's stupid.
Mick Foley asks Roman Reigns if find a partner and
find
you
a
can
partner.
Go. I don't need a partner. I'm boring. I don't need a partner. I don't need a partner.
Dude, one versus all. Dude, one versus all, all right? One versus all, dude, all right?
I have blue contacts in. I'm Samoan.
I don't need a partner.
I'm very pretty. Girls like me.
Vince loves me.
Let me jerk off my wrist.
Oh, God, that's gross. I never even envisioned that. Oh, fuck.
Hashtag Brazzers.
Hashtag. If you guys could see this is good radio. You guys could see my commentary colleagues.
We're both just
going
in on our wrist right now, man.
Yeah. I don't think an individual competitor should ever beat a tag team ever, let alone your champions. What are you thinking?
It just doesn't make any sense. Just like that Dolph Ziggler match didn't make any sense.
If you okay, so you know what? I amend my statement. You take Braun Strowman, put him against 2 or 3 local competitors who look like James Ellsworth. Cool. You're making a point. I get it. But I'm talking about 50-50 booking, like you're saying. You want to take that's like 50-25 booking.
Right. Exactly. That's 100% what that is.
That guy should not have a chance against your tag team champions.
And it's not doing anything to put Roman Reigns over. In fact, if you let the tag champs beat up Roman Reigns, the crowd would be more inclined to cheer for the guy who just got beat up by 2 fucking guys.
Maybe.
So anyway.
Sympathy, right? You want sympathy for this guy? You want them to care? They don't care because he can beat. Okay. Yeah. So I think Joe wins the Duke Dumpster.
Vince and your Roman Reigns push or D-push or whatever the fuck it is, limbo, hit the fucking dumpster.
Right into the dumpster.
All right. So
the same dumpster that Kevin Nash was thrown into as Super Shredder.
Right.
You know Roman Reigns will try to get out of the dumpster, too, so you better close it twice, man. Put something on top, too.
No doubt.
The worst part is when the Shield reunites, it's going to be epic and amazing.
Right.
And Reigns is just proven to be such a pile of shit.
So in closing of the show, I want to close it on a not so high note because
Not so high?
no, because I've been enjoying
Yeah.
what Tom Phillips is. Right? Do you guys like Tom Phillips? I think he does a good job on commentary. You might not even remember who he is. He's the fourth guy on SmackDown.
I know he's the fourth guy. I know who he is.
fourth
He
guy
does
on SmackDown.
5 things.
He's a little
He
white
does.
guy. I know who he is.
Yeah, and he did good. He did really well on NXT and things like that. And he always has done a good job of portraying that very clean-cut person. And this is the last thing we want to talk about. But I just want to throw it out there while it's still news. He tried to pick up a side chick on Instagram this week.
Oh boy.
Not only that,
Oh boy. Who is it? Like one of the hottest girls out there?
one of those Instagram hoes.
Oh, he's a fucking idiot.
So not only was it he tried to pick up one of the Instagram hosts, she went because he's a television personality and found out who he was, and the hoe put him on blast in true hoe fashion.
Oh, of course.
This guy is engaged
Oh, what a fucking moron.
to a beautiful woman, and it's been documented that him and his fiance
He was.
and have been together forever. So this is from stillrealtous.com. Excellent name for a website, or for a wrestling website.
Can you turn it over this way so we could take a little look?
Sure. So what I'm going to do is I'll duplicate this screen real quick. So Tom Phillips made a big uh-oh this week as he decided to try and get a little side piece going on Instagram, which I guess might work if you are not a mainstream television personality. Would you agree? I mean, I think that's a little...
I don't know. I haven't been a mainstream television personality, but...
So Tom Phillips has had a fiance since even before his NXT days. He's been with this woman, and they were planning on getting married this year, and that might be a little bit in jeopardy now, as Tom Phillips has been trying to hook up with Instagram user Missy the Tattoo Girl. She claims that he's been flirting with Tom, but now that she doesn't feel any regrets for posting a screenshot of their conversation on Instagram when she found out that he did in fact have a fiance. These are some of the things that Tom Phillips had to say after a massive flirting session. He says that he has a massive erection and that he's got a 4-hour flight ahead, and that he's going to quote, face fuck the shit out of you to Missy,
end quote.
Missy the Tattoo Girl. My first thing is, dude, not only did you really put your foot in your mouth with your fiance, but I'm pretty sure that you're supposed to consult a doctor if that erection lasts more than 4 hours. So I'm pretty sure there. So Tom Phillips is in
At least you're sitting down.
Yeah, now, is that the tuck the erection in the waistband thing for the next 4 hours, or you just continue to let it all hang out and right next to JBL? Like, what do you have going on here?
It's just the pants. They're pleated in the crotchal region.
Okay, I got you. That makes a lot more sense. So basically, all right. Now I am far removed. The last time I was in the dating scene, the internet dating situation did not really exist to the level that it's
Did the
at.
internet exist? Have you been married for like 20 years?
I've been married for less than 1 year. However, I've been with my wife for 9 years. So when I first started dating, we met. We were bartenders together, the old traditional way to meet a
Like
woman.
face to face?
Yeah.
Weird.
Okay, so me being not as well versed into the online dating scenario, is this a normal thing? Okay, let's take the fiance thing out of the factor. Is it a normal thing to approach women like this? Because the whole face fucking thing usually comes a little bit later in the relationship.
A little bit later in the conversation. He tried to take advantage of the girl, obviously, with the fact that he's obviously on TV, so he thought it was going to be easy, probably, or if the girl didn't know that he had a fiance. But how fucking stupid is this guy? It's like, dude, you're on TV. You know better than this. Like, they've taught you better than this. This is 2017.
You know what, though?
Everything hits the internet.
I don't think they teach them.
Well, he should know just because it's
Because
you know
look at
shit on the
NFL
internet?
athletes, man.
Oh,
Look
they're
at
all fucking
everybody.
Yep, we've all seen a lot more of Seth Rollins than we wanted to.
Oh yeah, of course. It's just his was a little more it was like a personal thing, and the girl
least
just put it out.
consensual.
You're right. That was a little bit more personal, but
still-
it was the same
still, he's
situation.
gotta know
He had a
better.
fiance that he was cheating on.
He's got to know better, because the girl, like they said, the girls know you're famous. They're gonna strike back, even if he does hook up with them, and then he just ditches him to go back to the other girl. They're gonna fucking put you on blast. They're gonna do it.
Sure.
It's gonna they could get them paid. It could get them some money from a news outlet or TMZ or something like that. You know what I mean? And these people will do anything for money these days. So that's
Unfortunately, and I'm not saying this about women. I'm saying this about a lot of people. I'm saying this about everybody, but not everybody, but a lot of people. Like, a lot of people like attention.
very much.
Sure. So that was just the one missed headline that I wanted to touch on this week. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the world of Tom Phillips, because I really do like him as a commentator. As a matter of fact, I think he's one of the most talented commentators we've got. He keeps the situation grounded, and he does a very good job of being a bumper in between all kinds of different segments, and he can be analytical if he wants to be. He could drive a storyline if he wants to. So I hope he doesn't end up like something ridiculous like fired or anything like that.
You think WWE is going to...
They didn't fire Emma. If they didn't there's people who've done worse shit.
What did Emma do?
She
shoplifted.
The shoplifting, that's what she did.
That was
What was worse about what Emma did was that it was all over social media.
right.
You know what? I could have dumped
This
him
one's out there too.
in the fucking dumpster this week, that whole Emmalina thing when she came out and she's like, I'm Emmalina, and all of a sudden she's like, now I'm Emma. It's like, we waited all this fucking time for you to just say this?
And I don't even know what you'd put in the dumpster for that, because I don't know that they know where they're going.
Well, she looks good. That's one thing, but
But I don't know where because apparently they didn't like the direction that she was. So it was supposed to.
She
be,
couldn't play the part.
right, and that's right.
she was when she was before she became Emmalina, when she turned into like a badass when she was a heel. It was a lot better than it was when she
Yeah,
was
The
that was a great
Aviators.
run. And for someone who's been trained by Lance Storm, they don't need to go all these crazy gimmicks.
Yeah, exactly.
Let the woman wrestle.
For Tom Phillips. Oh, sorry. If you can, like you said, Joe knows best because I'm speaking for me and Bear. I don't have a girlfriend currently. Do you? Or maybe
It doesn't matter.
All right.
It doesn't matter.
But
Both of you know that
if you
odds
find a good
are,
one,
if
you know what I mean?
If you have a good one, don't take to Instagram hoes to sell that you want to skull fuck them. That's really the moral of the story.
Yeah.
Listen, reach out to us on Facebook. Reach out to us on Twitter at JoeyEtch. Search for the Rope Break, and with that, we're gonna. This is a work in progress here, and with your feedback and with our hard work and dedication, we will continue to make the Rope Break the best possible show for everyone. With that, for Excellence of Exhale, the Hitman, and the Plaster Blaster Shockmaster Grizz, I am JoeMaga signing out.